Uh, so, um, I know I said last time that that was going to be the last time that I was going to be streaming this because the due date for this project was yesterday, so it supposedly was to be done then. Um, so some stuff happened. Basically, I had a class on Thursday, the day before the day that this project was due. And so what I did was I brought my computer to class, to school, and I started working on the game there. And then when the class actually started, because, you know, I was working on it during my free time before, when the class actually started, I went into the classroom and I started working there on the school computers because they have some better computers and working off of a laptop. You know how it is, right? And so after 5 hours of work on the school computers, there was a blackout, which meant that all the progress of the class was just completely lost. So that was fun. And so then what happened, right, is because we lost so many time and so many of us lost so much progress, right? The professor who was there decided that he was going to move the due date to Monday, since this was just kind of just a really unfortunate circumstance that ended up affecting everybody in the class, right? So the fair, the game fair that the class holds, it was moved to Monday, which means that even though we all lost 5 hours, around 5 hours of progress, we gained 3 whole days to finish this. So we kind of came out ahead, despite how insanely demoralizing losing all that progress turns out to be. Eh? So yeah, it's bad news, obviously, losing all that progress, but also it's good that I got those 3 days, and that means that I get to stream the stuff that I do. Now, I say that I lost 5 hours of progress, but I did do some stuff that I did manage to upload to GitHub before, right? Essentially, so I'm going to show you right now what the progress that I made off stream. I'm going to show you it right now. So, if you recall, last time I was working on the buttons that, when clicked, will turn the player around. Will turn the whole level around horizontal, 90 degrees. So that's what I was working on, and I got them made, but they're not completely functional yet. See, there are these arrows, and when you step onto one of them, for the sounds, and the whole game turns around. And the movement of the arrows is now relative to the new orientation of the level, as you can see. And that works, but there's a couple of issues with it. And let me show you. So the issue is that if you finish a level in an orientation that isn't 0, then the level will just be flipped. It won't reset the orientation. The arrows still work relative to it. There's also this issue where arrows at the beginning of the level do not know to wait before being executed. Like, sometimes they'll just happen immediately between level transitions. So that's an issue. Remember how last time I was having a lot of trouble with how to flip the level 90 degrees, and I was considering how was I going to flip an array, a two-dimensional array, transpose it, which is the mathematical term, and it was giving me a lot of trouble because it meant that I would have to create a new array and then determine the new position of every single thing in the game. It turns out that there's an easier way to do that. Here's how it how it works, and I realized I could do this while I was in bed immediately after streaming. So the solution was so obvious, really. So what you can do is just where is it? So what you can do is just turn the camera. You can just turn the camera and then have everything else adjust itself to that. So, like, flip all the things and then make the commands go in a different direction, right? Which is just such an easier way, so much of an easier way to do it. But however, yeah, we have to work on that. We have to fix those few glitches that happen. So the first one was how when you transition to a new level, the level doesn't go back to its normal rotation. Rather, it just it thinks it should still be rotated. So we have to fix that. Now, the thing that makes the levels rotate is in the logic of the player, or at least that's where it starts, right? So actually, let me just change the orientation of these windows, because there's something here that I like just a lot more. So, like, we're gonna have the hierarchy tab take this space, and we're gonna have the project take this space. And then we can just there's a setting here that does what I wanted to do. One column layout. Yep, this. And this is just a lot nicer, because I get to have these in the form of a list all the time. But I still get to see the icons, even though they're tiny. So, yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into the scripts, and we're going to go to the player script, because that is where the flipping of the level begins. it begins with the player stepping into a space. Why a space? Because the thing that is in the memory generated as the turner is not actually the turner itself, but rather an empty space. This is so that the player can enter into it using the space logic, and just there's a space that there's a space little dot that switches places with the player, and so we're not constantly moving the button, right? So the whatchamacallit, the level generator keeps track of where each button is, and every time the player steps into space, it asks the level generator if there is a button inside that space, and if there is, then the player does this stuff. It plays a chord rather than just a single note. It sets up this turn timer and also blocks the scheduler so that no more commands are sent while the turn is happening. Then this turn timer, in turn, just decreases until it reaches 0, which should happen at around 0.5 seconds. And this log timer is initiated. The log timer is basically just a time before we unlock the scheduler so that more arrows can be sent. But at the time that this happens, and this, we're going to send the rotate command to the level generator. The reason we want to delay this is because we need to allow a small amount of time so that the player can see the little spider fella step onto the space before the turning happens. So then the player moves, then the turning happens, and then the scheduler gets unlocked. For the turning to happen, we have to go into the level generator script, which is this. The level generator, as I said at the beginning of the generation of the level, it gets every button, replaces its memory allocation with an empty space, which is this. Yeah, this. No, what is it? Yeah, it's this. It replaces its memory allocation with an empty space, but before doing that, it adds that button to a separate list, so we don't lose the reference to it, we just put it somewhere else. So then the player, the level behaves for the most part as if the thing in the buttons space was an empty space, but the button does an additional operation when it is found by this different function, which is the one that the player calls every time he tries to step into an empty space. So then, when that happens, the level does this rotate thing. So what it does is, first of all, it figures out whether the turn should be clockwise or counterclockwise. This is a variable that is set by this. So whenever the player queries the level generator for where is a button, the level generator will have stored in memory whether the turn that is about to happen should be clockwise or counterclockwise. So then that variable gets used here, and depending on whether that is true or false, we're going to assign 90 or minus 90 as the rotation number. It's the number of degrees that the camera should turn. Then you tell the camera focuser instance to change the zeroed number to this. We don't change the rotation directly because the camera focuser has a script that does that for it, and that allows us to do it gradually. Then you tell the scheduler to add this amount of rotations. This is so that the scheduler knows how rotated we are, so that it can account for that when sending arrows. So a down arrow should send the direction down, but that is down relative to the screen. So if the camera is rotated, now all of a sudden down is not towards the down coordinate in vector space, but rather towards the right coordinate, right? It's that sort of thing. Then, for each element, it is going to set the rotation. It's going to grab the world updater, the world positioner, and set this number. Now, the reason not every tile rotates is because some of them are set to ignore this, and that is just so that it looks nicer without everything rotating at the same time. Only the important things rotate. So the flag rotates, and the player rotates, and that's about it. Everything else just stays put. Which actually probably means that we could do this more efficiently, but at this point it's not important. So, The issue currently is that the level stays rotated after a level is loaded. So what we need to do is set equivalents of this that set all of these numbers to 0 on the generate level function. So on start. So on start, the level should call the thing that sets the camera rotation. Yep. And tell it, hey, your rotation value should be equal to 0 now. We don't want you to be rotated. Then it should also just position the camera instantly there to that rotation so that there's not like a turn in motion. We want it to be immediate because a new level is being loaded, right? So transform point rotation equals the identity quaternion. Then next we have to take the thing that keeps track of the rotation in the scheduler and tell it, hey, we don't have any rotation anymore. So I want you to, right, I need to check how that is kept track of. So the scheduler is here. And the scheduler is, yeah, it has a function that is add rotations, but I can just manipulate this directly as well because it's public. So I can just tell the scheduler, hey, the amount of rotations that we are dealing with now, it has to be 0. And so the scheduler works with those rotations by, before it sends a command, it first does this do rotations function to it, which means that for each number in rotations, so for each rotation that we have, it's going to rotate it once. And rotating once means that it takes a command and it just turns it. So if it's up, it returns right. If it's right, it returns down. If it's down, so if it rotates twice, then it's going to be up to right and then right to down, and so on and so forth. And so that this doesn't have a possibility of happening more than 4 times, we make it so that each time you add rotations, you subtract 4 from the rotations if they are more than 4 and add 4 if they're less than 0. So there will always be in the range of 0 to 3, which is, what you expect. Like 4 rotations of 90 degrees is the same as no rotations at all, because it's 90 plus 90 plus 90 plus 90. That is 360, which is right back when we started. And that's literally all there is to that. Of course, we don't do that when we set the rotations or in angles of the camera component, so that it doesn't try to return, so that, a rotation to the right doesn't try to return towards those other 3 turns, but rather it keeps going, right? And that is good. That is how we do that. So yeah, that should have fixed that bug. The issue is that this is a bug that I'm pretty sure that I fixed when I was at school. So 63, you can tell how that may make me a little bit sloppy. Level generator, line 63. What's the issue with that? An object reference is required for component point transform. Camera focuser, yeah, it's the instance. Okay, so that should have fixed it. Okay, so yes, but that rotation wasn't immediate. I was really hoping that it would be. Why is it not? Hmm. I, because the issue is that it was when I fixed it at school, so I know that I know how to, or that I can do it, but it's not like a difficult problem. So now I'm going to be obsessed with it, right? Hold on. Okay, so I know that it's just a debug thing, but I want to check why is it that the player was not turning its sprite when I was sending the movement manually. Uh, oh yeah, it's because those words component. Okay, it's not important. But yeah, that does mean that we want to, because if we turn, then all of a sudden these are going to be relative to that. So I need to put these here in update probably. Which means that player doesn't no longer needs the test boolean, but scheduler does. And then rather than try movement, you're going to do execute command. Yeah, you're gonna do execute command. Execute command, and the command is going to be command up. Oh yeah, you're going to do it like this. Like this, like this, like this. This just makes debugging easier for me. This is not an actual function of the game. So it's fine if this one is just a bit sloppy. So this one is up. This one is A is left. This one is down, and this one is right. And then we get rid of this, of this, of this, and of this. We save. Yeah, and very importantly, we turn the player sprite. We turn the player sprite before. Yeah, we turn the player sprite before we flip the command, and that is so that the player is not facing a direction that is not relative to the screen, right? So we need this, and it should be just the same thing. Just here, just here. Like I said, this could be written neatly so that I didn't have to copy the command every time twice, but this is just a debug function, so I don't care that much. So this is up, this is left, this is down, and that is right. Right, and I forgot to make the scheduler have that testing variable on, so let's have that. And that lets me move with the keyboard buttons rather than the mouse buttons. I do have to remember to disable that. Okay, hold on, actually. There you go. So now the level is turned. Okay, I mean, it's good enough. That works, right? So now the turning motion is, as far as I understand it, it should be completely done and fixed. The issue is that I know there were other issues with the levels that that I fixed that day with the scripts, and now I don't know which ones they are because I didn't keep proper track. If I had it on stream, I could just go back and check, but I don't, so I can't because of that power outage. Uh, so shit. So yeah, what was the issue? There was definitely an issue. Well, okay. Let's do something else before that. Let's do the sound effect for the puffs of clouds. So, smoke puffs sound effect. That is what we're going to be working on next, and hopefully I will remember what it was that needed done before that. So in order to do that, we're going to go into Audacity, and I'm probably going to just record something and probably bit crush it. Oh, that's the wrong thing. We're going to... Hey, what the hell? Okay, so I'm probably just going to record something extremely simple, just like... Right, and of those noises, one of those should work. Oh, that's the bad microphone. It's not the bad microphone. What's going on? Oh, my audio sucks. Why does it suck? I have it plugged into the good port. Hold on, 1 second. This should be better. Give me a second. Testing it here now. Testing it here now. Yeah, that's a lot better. What? Why was it? Huh. That's odd. Okay. So then we'll do this. Okay, so at least one of those mouth noises is going to be good enough for us. No, that one takes way too much. Okay, let's just... I don't like either of these. This one? Kinda iffy about, but maybe. And this one... Yeah, let's say this one, this one. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna grab these two. First of all, we're going to do a noise reduction. So effects, noise reduction, get noise profile, select the whole thing, noise reduction, okay. So now we have something it's cleaner. So here's what we're gonna do so that it's not too notorious what's going on, too noticeable what's going on. We're going to take these and we're going to do... What if we bit crush it? What does that sound like? Yeah, maybe not so much. Maybe not so little. Yeah, no, that I don't like that. Okay, forget that. We are going to distort it. I want to distort the fuck out of it. So let's do something like this. No, that doesn't quite work. How about... Yeah, okay, distortion doesn't seem like it's gonna do what I want it to do. Okay. Then what other effect can we play with? How about just... Okay, we should actually probably do a low-pass filter anyway. Yeah, we definitely need the low-pass filter. So then, what else can we do? Phaser, what does that do? Yeah, no, that doesn't really... Vocoder? Tremolo is not going to do anything. Delay, echo reverb, click removal, pitch and tempo, fading, volume and compression. Actually, I think I could do with these as they are. Let's just give them some reverb for good measure. That's too much. Give me some other preset. This one? Too much. Just medium room. Yeah, okay, so these are going to be our two sound effects. So then, what we're going to do is take we need to isolate each of these into a new track. Like so. Then we need to make sure that there's no delay on the beginning. So like probably we want this. Then remove the end silence. Then we're going to export both of them. We're gonna just export it to audio. We're gonna name them pop. So now we can close this, but go back into Unity and import both of these resources. So we have both of these, we put them here. We have both of these, we put them here. Please. There you go. Then we're going to need a new audio library type thing so that these are both in a pool and you can just play one or the other. And we are going to add both of those sounds to this list. So now there is a command that I can pass to the sound effects system that will play one of those indiscriminately of each other. So then we are going to, we're going to create a script that's going to play that sound on awake. So it's going to send that command on awake. Oh yeah. Script, because usually sounds can be played from awake, but that implies preloading it with the sound that we want, and we don't want that. We want it to be determined by the sound system, the sound library. So script play lib effects on awake. This script couldn't be simpler. It's going to be public, no, not a public, doesn't need to be void, on awake. What you're going to do is do the thing, and the thing is done by a writing command that I always forget how it goes. It's this. So sound effects manager instance reproduce, and it's going to be lib, and so we're going to have a public variable type that is librería de sonidos called lib, and that's going to be the one that we want. And so what we have to do now is go to the prefabs of each of those puffs of smoke and make sure that we are giving them that script along with the sound that they're supposed to play. So script play library sound effect on awake, and the library that you want to play is the one that's called puff. That is for the one for UIs, and then we're going to have another one for the one that's not for UIs. So this one, a component, that one, library, that one, and we'll see what that sounds like then, or we'll hear, I suppose. I'm not hearing anything, are you? There's a weird bug that happened there. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but that shouldn't be possible. More importantly, I don't know why I couldn't reproduce it. That is very odd. Is that possible to happen with the arrows? Because if it's not, then it doesn't matter. Also, just as a thing, the sound effects are definitely not playing. So what's going on? Is unawake not the name of the function? Oh, it's just called awake. Well, actually, it should probably just be called start, doesn't it? There's no reason to go so early as to get an awake. But yeah, the actual function is usually called awake, not unawake. There's an unenable, which is different. So it seems to me like the audio is kind of clipping, but only sometimes. And I think it's because too many of the sound is being played on top of each other. Hmm. Yeah, so we definitely need to kind of fix that. Uh, but actually, the sound effect is super subtle, so I don't think that will be it. I think we just needed to prevent it from playing on top of each other so much, particularly at the beginning of the levels. So yeah, we would need to have it so that when it's sent already in this same frame, it just doesn't happen. But I'm not sure if that is feasible, if that is something that would it be that much of a problem? Because you can hear it, right? I'm not sure if it clips too much. To begin with, this is way more than the amount of puffs that I would expect there to be. So what's going on there? Each one is spawning 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each one is spawning 5. So I guess I could just ensure that that number is never too big. 10 at the same time seems to be a bit much. So how about 8 at the same time, right? Because that is due to the spawners. The spawners tell you how many to spawn. So let's say that the quit button spawner spawns 4. And the puff spawner here, which is where? Oh, the play. Yeah, the play one should spawn 4. And then the one that generates the levels. So yeah, the one for each level generator should spawn a lesser amount. So that would be, for example, here. No, how do you spawn the buttons at the beginning of the level? How do you do that? Generate paths, and what you do is you generate oh, you generate one per block, right? Don't you? I could make a second puff that is silent and generate those visually. Yeah, let's do that. So let's create another prefab for puffs whose only difference from the first is that this one is silent. So this one's going to be called silent puff, and this one's not going to have this. And then we are going to pass that to the level generator as a secondary thing. So we're going to do public game object silent prefab. And then what we're going to do is the first 8 that you spawn are going to be the one that makes noise, but then the rest are going to be silent ones. And so the sound is still going to reproduce a layer, but only up to 8 times. So we are going to do sound, yeah, an integer that is going to be sound left. It's going to start at 8, and each time you spawn one, you reduce sound by 1. Yeah, if sound left is larger than 0, So you're going to do 148, 147, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you're going to do all 8. You reduce sound left by 1, and you spawn the normal puff prefab, just exactly the way that you should. But if there weren't any more sound left, what you're going to do is instead you're going to instantiate the silent prefab. That's going to make it so that the sound still happens and still layers, but not quite so much. So then we have here silent. Yep, so here we're going to go into the field and we're going to have to change both of them. But we're going to go here and we're going to give it this silent prefab. We're going to give the other one its own silent prefab. And that should make it so that the sound doesn't do the thing too much. Doesn't clip. Or still clips way the fuck out of the sound. So let's make it 6 instead. And then do the same here. Where this one is 3 and this one is another 3, and that will do the thing. No, that was way too much. That was way too much. That was way more than 6. What's going on? Sound left is larger than 0. Then do the pop prefab. Otherwise, do the silent one. Did I create the copy but then didn't remove the sound? No, I didn't. Did I create the result? You have smoke and silent. And here you have smoke and silent. So you should be generating exactly 6. Sound left is larger than 0. Sound left minus minus. Instantiate the puff. Otherwise, instantiate the silent. Yeah, that's it, because the number should be 6. So even if it's clipping, it should clip it exactly as much as the other one. As the UI one. So let's see. You have 1 smoke, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just tons, and then you have a bunch of silent ones. So what's going on? Oh, yeah, I was still instantiating the one that makes noise every time. And then this should sound a little better. Not ideal. Oh, what if I just spawn you manually? Does that? Okay, I can deal with that. I can absolutely deal with that. Level generator not sends to an instance of an object. Yeah, that's fine. That's just an error because I was spawning things by hand. Then we're going to do so we can cool that down with the smoke puffs SFX. So what we're going to do is fix the chords. See, the issue that I have with them is that right now I only have two chord sounds that are both corresponding to the tonic, the tonic of the scale, but I want the dominant chords in there as well because I am playing those when the level turns. So that is fixed through here. I need to have two others. So we're gonna need two other sound effects that are going to be first dominant, first dom chord, and other dom chord. And then we're going to need to play them here. So if inversion is first, then you're going to check if yeah, how am I checking the whether we should play the dominant or not? Check victory. If check victory equals chord point dominant, then play the first dominant chord, otherwise just play the tonic. And then something very similar here. But instead of the firsts is the others. And then we have to actually create those sound assets, which I mean it's exactly the same as the last time I did this, so we're just gonna need Audacity. And then the individual notes for what I was doing earlier, so this which are yep. It's for the first one, the non-inverted one, we're going to need yep, the one, and then all three of these. And then what we're going to need is we're going to grab all of these, we're going to mix them to a new track. We're gonna get this. And then from that, I'm going to actually grab the other chords, this one, so that I can kind of get an idea of what this is like. So then we're going to need to normalize this, yes. Normalize this to a similar level than that, so it should be 8, and then pulse stretch it. Delay and reverb, and now it is pitch and tempo. Yeah, pulse stretch it just to the default value. Way too long. We're gonna need to pulse stretch it. Pulse stretch, where is it? Pulse stretch it to half. So do 5. And then do a fade out that ends about here, probably. Effect, fade out, and then having had that, just delete the rest. So this is the one chord, and just so that it doesn't start too abruptly, we're and just so that it doesn't start too abruptly, we're going to need to do a fade in right here, fade in, and we can save this. What is an OGG that is called chord dom1, and then we're going to do the same to the others. So get the top note of the other dominant on the bass, get the high notes. Alien Pop, never imagined me playing a game with a ball kissed over and over, but here I am. What? A ball being kissed. Is that what it looks like? Oh, there's this fucking error. Hold on. I played your game. Oh, you played Possible! Okay, that's what you're talking about. Oh, man. Did you like it? I'd love to hear your opinion. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, no, I thought you were talking about this one, so I was a bit confused. Yeah, no, it's obviously meant to be weird. I'm glad you liked it, man. Thank you for trying it and everything, you know? Okay, so we're going to take this. We want to select all and then mix to a new track. Thought I'd check out your other stuff. Yeah, man. Glad you did. Because that one in particular, I'm insanely proud of. Of all the games that I have uploaded to that itch page, it's that and Prime Cut. Those are the ones that I'm the most proud of. And well, soon to be this, actually. When I upload this, I think this is going to be added to that list of the best ones that I got, because honestly, I'm really liking how it's turning out. Unless something catastrophic happens here today and tomorrow, right? So let's see, we want to normalize it so that it's not as loud. Normalize. I'll try Prime Cut next. Yeah, please do. It's rougher, but it's also more involved than the other ones that I've made. It's longer for one. What does this sound like? Yeah, okay, that works. So we want that, and we want to pulse stretch it. Be sure to tell me how you like it once you do. Then we're gonna have it so that it's not quite as long, so we're gonna do a fade out from here, fade out, then cut out the rest, then very small fade in will do. Putting it up now. Oh yeah, glad to hear. Fade in, and we have this. Yeah, that works. So then we're going to export this as an OGG, and we're going to call it chord dominant 2, and then we import both of those into Unity. What's the line that has else cannot start a statement? Note picker 71. Oh. Like that. Also, no, that is okay. Good. Let's see. Okay, so now that should be the script all done. Go into Unity, it does an error, and now we just need to add those two sound effects to the thing. So we're gonna put it in here. This folder is gonna become a bit of a mess, which I regret. I definitely should have made a folder for the sounds and then a separate folder for the libraries, but hindsight, right? Let's see, we have this, and then we add both of these. So chord dominant 1 and chord dominant 2. And that should make it so that we're playing different chords depending on whether we've stepped on a button or on the end of the level. The idea is that the ones at the end are going to be the tonic of the scale, and the ones on the buttons are going to be the dominant, which sort of kind of gives the ones before you finish the level a slight bit of tension that gets resolved. But again, that's only if I haven't gotten my music theory wrong, which I very well could have. Okay, hold on. They are a bit too dim. Maybe I should make them a bit louder. Maybe I went a bit too hard on the normalize. Yeah, the issue is not that they're too soft. The issue is that they're too soft compared to the other sound effects. So let's make them a bit louder then. Go back to Audacity. There's definitely better apps for music, for sound mixing and stuff, but I like to. I mean, God damn it! I keep grabbing the wrong window. I'm sure that you can tell I like the simple ones. I like the simple apps. Right, so let's see. But see, the issue is that it sounds good enough here. Like, it very much sounds good enough here. So, like, what if I compare it to one of these, just like this, right? Like, how loud do the peaks go? They seem to go about the same. And then this is like, and that is still way. Okay, that is a bit odd. Let's compress it first, and then normalize it. Let's see if that makes a difference. No, that just fucked with my fade out. Is all that did. What about the other chord? Because the other chord, I like the sound of the other chord. So maybe there's like a noticeable difference in the waveforms. Yeah, okay, I think I kind of realize what this is. I think we should just normalize it, but not to 8, to 5 maybe. -5. See, it's kind of hard to tell just by look whether this one's higher. Hmm. Let's just assume that that is right. That is going to sound better. So then let's do the same to the other one. Repeat normalize. Yep, just makes the sound wave a bit thicker. And then we are going to export this as OGGs. But not the whole thing. We're going to export each individual track. I'm going to call the chord dominants and with a name suffix. We're going to go to my folder and delete the old ones. We are going to go back into Unity and replace the audio files. So these two delete. And these two bring in. and then replace them on the sound effects system. This and this. I should upload Possible to Newgrounds. That's the one game that I want to continue developing, you know? Like, of the ones that I have so far. I mean, actually, all of them I would like to give some love, but if I had to pick one, it's definitely that one. That's the one that I feel like could do the most with. Yeah, this sounds a lot better. This sounds... I like the sound of this a lot better. Let me just give it another listen, just to be sure. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I think this sounds very good. Okay, so that means that we're done with the chord sound, right? And we have to think of what we're going to be doing next. There is another thing that I know that could be fixed, because I did that yesterday. Right, I remember now. It is a reset button. I want to create situations in the game where you get trapped in a place and you can't get out because the arrows that you have available are simply not good enough to do that. But if I'm going to do that, then I can't have the player be clicking back to menu every time. So I'm going to need the pause menu to have a button that will reset the current level. See, I would put it right here. And I did that at school, and then I lost that progress because of the blackout. So yeah, right now the two buttons are just close the pause menu or go back to the main menu. And that's all that we have. So we're going to create a reset level button. And that button is going to be... Actually, let's do something easier before I do that. Logo! Just because I'm getting tired of seeing this empty screen right here. Now this logo it's extremely easy. So really all we have to do is take these images that I already made, and we're going to put them on the main menu. So we're going to create a new image, name logo. I'm going to put it just here. We are going to feed it this sprite, and then we're going to set native size, and we're going to scale it up to 3.8. On the X and the Y, we don't have this logo. Then in order to give it that jiggle effect, we're going to do script UI random sprite. We're going to give it this image component, and we're going to give it 4 images because that's how many images for the logo animation I have. And they're going to be this, 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 and this. And it's going to jiggle a bit faster than most other things because we need to give it emphasis because it's the logo, man. And then we need to make it so that it disappears when the levels start getting loaded. So that is, we go to the sequences, we go to the play button. When you click the play button, it's going to begin by fading out this. So we're going to give this an animator to the logo, create animator, and then we are going to animate it from, we're going to need to give it change the color. So going to the play button here, we're going to start recording. create a key here, and then create another here with this value. And then after that happens, I need you to make sure to deactivate the object. So, no, that's an animator. That's not what I want. Delete. Activation track. So here, the object needs to be active from here all the way to this point. And then it ends the animation deactivated. But that makes it so that it will not appear, it will just disappear, and then when you go back to this first menu thing, it's not going to reappear again. Right? So we have to make sure that it can. So that is as easy as going to the back button and doing the same but in reverse. So we need an animation track and we need an activation track. And you're going to do logo, we're going to have the activation track, and we're going to leave it active until the end. So it has to line up with the right side of these things right there. And then logo here. And we're going to make it so that it ends fully opaque, but it starts fully transparent. And so that should do it. There you go. Okay. So that's the game logo done. So we can call that done. So next, the other thing that I said I was going to do, and this time for real, we're going to need a back button, restart level button. Restart level button. I remember this when I was at school, gave me a lot of trouble because it turns out that when you tell prefab to instantiate itself, it's a bit difficult because, played Prime Cut a little bit, took me way too long to figure out how the combat actually works. I feel that it is mostly my bad though, but now I'm cutting through things left and right with a fast pace. Doing the second level right now, killing ghosts. But yeah, now that I have it figured out, it's very satisfying. Yeah. I mean, that's the one feedback that I have consistently gotten about Prime Cut, is that it's a bit difficult to grasp. So I definitely should have, if I would go back and if there was one thing that I would add to it, would be like a little tutorial. That's the one thing that it is missing. But yeah, it's not so difficult that you can't figure it out. It's just difficult enough that if you're not really sold on it, you're going to quit, you know? So that's why you want a tutorial, right? So, but yeah, no, I really spent a lot of time. Adding a simple GIF showing you how you're intended to cut might be good. Yeah, I could do that, but I would have to go back into the code and remember how any of it worked. Remember, I did this more than 3 years ago in an engine that I'm not using anymore, so it would take a bit to figure it out. But yeah, no, that's definitely a thing that I could do. The issue is that, you know, I mean, you can see I'm focusing on other projects, right? So, yeah, I'm glad you find it satisfying. I definitely put a lot of work into just exactly that, just making the base movement feel good, so... Okay, so we have the logo, now we have to do a restart level button. Okay, yeah. Felt good. It's good. It's good to know. Also, it does save your progress on the web page, so, you know, if you go back, you don't lose that progress. That's... I figured out how to do that, which it turns out is very easy in Love2D. It's not a problem at all. Let's see. I have... Right, so what I want to do is now I want to go to this pause menu. Let's make it visible. So here I want to have a button that looks exactly like this back button. To have it here. So it's going to be placed here, and this button is going to take you back to this button is going to reset the level that you're currently on. So we're going to we don't need to give it a world positioner because it's not going to move. We're not going to give it a signal receiver. We doesn't need an enable state, but it does need to wiggle in that way that all the other buttons do. Then when you click the button, it's not going to do this, but rather it's going to do something else. Yep, I had made a script for this and it is completely gone. So we're going to need to deal with that. So we're going to need a script that can send a message to the level generator, level reloader, to tell it to reload the level. So level reloader. So actually, I just thought of a solution to the problem that I was having at school. In school, I solved it with a bit of a what do you call it? Just a workaround kind of solution, you know? So like the issue was, right, that when you tell the level generator to regenerate a prefab of the object that it is currently attached to, instead of instantiating a new of that prefab, like, you know, like it does when it loads the next level, it just kind of says, it seems to kind of say, oh, the prefab that you want me to instantiate is the same as myself, so I'm just going to instantiate myself. But the problem is that itself has been modified already, and so it instantiates with those modifications, and so that means that it is going to retain all the children that were created upon startup, which means that every children now has a duplicate, right? And so that was the issue that I was having then. I think that if instead of having the level generator do it, I have the script reloader script, this level reloader script be the one to do it, that might make it so that it doesn't happen, because to itself, the level generator is already... Having a prefab reference its own prefabs is usually a bad idea. Having a third party deal with it would work. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. Okay, so yeah. So what I'm going to do is, because the level reloader can't have... Yeah, so I'm going to have the level generator... hold on. Yeah, okay, so now I need to figure out a way to get the reference to the level reloader. It should be that every time the level generator... yeah, it should be that every time that the level generator begins, it should tell the level reloader, hey, the level that you should reload is this prefab, right? So... Oh, but hold on, then I can't just have it reference the game object, because that's the game object that's already created. So it needs to have a reference to its own prefab. Wait, no, that's not... Yeah, because that's the whole thing that I'm trying to avoid, isn't it? I could have it so that... Okay, first of all, we need to make this a singleton. Just because everything needs to access it, and I can't just reference it every time. So let's just do that, which is... I just have some code to do that every time that I copy. Yeah, so you, there you go, instance. So then you are going to need a variable of the game object type that you're going to just instantiate. So that is level to reload. And so, you know, public restart instantiate that, right? It needs to be public so that others can access it, right? So then the level generator, when the level generator loads the next level, it should also update... Might be worth making a singleton class that you derived from. Yeah, but here's the thing, I don't know how to do that. And I'm not going to learn today. Okay, no, actually, it probably is a good idea, but actually, what do you mean by derived from, actually? Because I'm not sure what you mean. I can teach? Super simple. Alright, lay it on me. you can make a class named singleton, right? So like, yeah. I think I'm following so far. After that, in that class, you have a variable called instance. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. And then all I need to do is just do this singleton or something like that. I actually don't know how to add a class to this, but I know that there's a way. I can just Google it. It's fine. Just to have the class have a different thing. Actually, I think I have some code around here. Instead of mono behavior. Because the singleton already is a mono behavior? Is that it? Remove mono behavior at singleton. Yeah, alright. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Doesn't that make it so that I can't use the awake function now, though, on the new ones that I derived from it? I mean, I'm sure there are workarounds, but, you know. That's why you make the awake like this, protected virtual void awake. Right. Now, any class deriving from it can also use it. Oh! Yeah, and so it's basically equivalent to copying this line every time that I want a singleton. Okay, I'm definitely gonna do that for the next project that I make, because, you know, if I were to do that, I would have to go into every single one and that I've made an instance and just replace it, and I don't want to do that. But yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna keep that in mind, because that's super easy to do and actually pretty useful. Okay, so level reloader. So I have this level reloader that is always an instance, and this is just so that everybody can access it, right? Cheap view, yeah. All right. But it's good to make various base classes that you later derive from if a lot of things use the same functionality. Yeah, the thing is that I know I should be doing that, but I'm way too used to functional programming. Right? I'm just, and it is a problem of habit. Also good to learn interfaces, similar benefits. Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, and to be fair, when I say functional programming, it's not like as if I'm rewriting things that I do most of the time. I mean, I'm doing it for stuff like this, but most of the time I just have it compartmentalized enough that I'm not actually rewriting anything. I'm just adding scripts here, right? So it works for me. But, you know, if there's small things like that I can learn, then why not, right? Okay, so yeah, I can give you the level to be reloaded, and so the restart will just instantiate it. Actually, let's write that right now. So yeah, on this call, you're going to instantiate level to reload in position vector 3, 0 with rotation quaternion identity parent null, which is the default anyway, so I probably could have just written this. So you do that. And then I have to make sure that the level generator, whenever it loads a next level, it also updates the level reloader on who it should reload when it gets triggered. So then here, before you instantiate it, so that we don't run into some other issue, you're going to go script level reloader point instance point, what's the name of the variable? It's called level to reload. It's going to be equal to the next level prefab, and so that allows the level reload to essentially do the same as this, right? Which replaces the level generator with the other one and deletes the previous one, so essentially it reloads it. But the issue is that that is only for loading a next level from a level that is already loaded. But when I load the first level, the way that I do it is through the buttons, and those uses a different script. So what I have to do is method doesn't have a return type, which is on level reloader. So yeah, public void. So then what I need to do is make sure that those buttons also update the level reloader. Those buttons work by, where is that? Those buttons work by sending the level. So the level sender is the thing that needs to have that. So this should send the level to the level spawner, but then also to the level reloader. Script level reloader point instance point level to reload equals level to send. And so level reload, yep, level reloady, level reloader. And then what I will need to do is take this back button and make sure that when it is clicked, it actually does the level reloading that I want it to do. So level reloader, level to reload is set by other things. So actually I should probably hide it in the inspector. Here, level reloader, restart. And that should be enough. Of course, it's not going to be valid until a level is loaded, but that's fine because the menu just cannot appear before that happens. So oh, what's going on? Object reference not set to an instance of an. Oh, yeah, because the menu hasn't appeared, so the script isn't valid yet. That's easy. I can just do. Oh, but hold on though. Okay, then in that case, what we can do is just be like, not have it here, but have it say on something that is always going to be on, which is let's go with the pause. It's the pause menu, so it belongs here anyway. Level. It's a function of the pause menu, so there's no reason why it wouldn't be here. And so since that is always on, then that can be the thing that the back button activates. So when the button is pressed, it will go to the pause menu and tell its level reloader to restart. Yeah, because the button is trying to send something and it doesn't find the thing that it wants to send it to because it's not enabled yet, and so it just stops executing. And so if I go here, do a couple of things, just do more things. Go pause menu. What? What? Where's my button? What happened to my button? It's here. Or did it just die? What? Yeah, it exists. And then if I load the level, and the button is off. Oh, yeah, I know why. No, it's not. What? It's not that. Because it's enabled here. Yeah, here it is enabled. So why does it disable itself? Does that only happen when I press escape? If I enabled you from here, the button is just offline. Now it's on. Then I disable you, enable you. It's on now. Okay, when does the state of this little tick mark change? Hold on. It is on. It is now still on. Off now. Off now. Off now. And this one disappeared. What the hell? Okay, hold on. Main menu. Back button. Oh. Please tell me that this fixes it. Please tell me that fixes it, because otherwise it's going to be a pain in the ass. No, it doesn't. Yeah, that means that I'm gonna have to change the references to it on the sequence, because when I copied it, the one that I used was not the copy, but the original one, which means that these timelines are now working with a thing that they shouldn't be. Yep, this is a signal receiver that doesn't exist. It's the one from this. This is a button that is not enabled. It should be this. And that's that one. And then the... Actually, that wasn't as painful as I thought it would be. Play button, back button. Back button, back button. Yep. Or play button. Replay button, puff button, reload button. That's the one that should be back button. God damn it. Play button. Yep. Reload button should be back button. That should be it, yeah. Ooh, okay, who else is it? Is it the load level? Probably, yep. It is reload button should be back button, so this is this, then that should be it. Also, come on. Okay, that worked. And then I click this. Okay, I have to make sure that it also closes the menu. So that's easy enough. Back button, reload button. Should, when clicked, take the pause menu and set its active to false. And then let's see if that causes the issue that I was having trouble with last time. And okay, It did work, like it did reset the level. Did it reset it with copies that I don't want? No. Okay, good. The issue is that this now is not working, but that should be the schedule panel having its blocked to true. Why does it have its blocked set to true? Probably because it was set to true before I reloaded the level. No, hold on, no, that's not the scatter, it's the input panel. Yeah, it's the can move is set to false. That shouldn't be set by the level. So who set it to false? That's the question then. When that is set to false, my clicks, it doesn't react to my clicking anymore. So here input panel is set to false, right? Because we're not in a level, so that doesn't matter. Here is set to true when the level loads. Right, when I pause. Okay, so what I should do then, instead of doing the instead of disabling the game object from the reload button specifically, I should tell the pause button sequence to unpause, which I'm pretty sure is a public function. Toggle pause state, yeah. So unpause it after you restart it, and then that'll set all of the values back to what they should be. Okay, that does work. However, the clicks time hasn't been, the number of clicks hasn't been reset, because if I reload, it doesn't get reset back to 0. I have to make sure that that happens. That is something that happens whenever level generator reloads a level. So yeah, you instantiate the level, and then on that instantiation, it does all of these things, right? And one of those should be the one that resets that. So you calculate the max size, generate the pause, position every row, switch all the colors, scan where there are buttons, get the middle position, calculate the middle position, focus the camera to that middle position, zoom out the camera based on the size, set the camera rotation back to 0, set the camera rotation back to 0 but for real this time, and set the rotations of the logic back to 0, then update the commands on the scheduler, on the input receiver. Wait, so when does that get, so when do the numbers get reset then? Okay, hold on. I maybe, so those things are on the schedule panel, and they are these, it's this one. So the click counter must be at some point reset. Reset count. So reset count is called on your start, right? And it must also be called some other time. That is whenever you reload a level. Whenever you reload the level, you just do it by instantiating. So that means that it must be on one of these functions, probably by the input receiver. So let's go to the input receiver. The input receiver has a reference to the click counter. And on start, you update all the commands. No, but that's on start. Whenever the level is reloaded, what are you told to do? You are told to update the commands. Okay, update commands. When update commands happens, you up the container command list command list. So that's updating all the commands. Okay, compose children list for each children. Okay, rather than that, when do you even touch the click counter? When you send a command, you add 1 to it. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, you only touch it for that purpose. So when does it get reset then? Yeah, when that happens, is it on awake? No, it's not. Oh, it's probably, yeah, when the name is updated, yeah, you have a variable that is set to false at the beginning, and then if it is false, then you set it to true along with updating the level name. And then probably that level name thing tells the record. Because when the level name changes, no, it's not. No, it's on the scheduler, so it's on the scheduler. So, okay, scheduler. So many scripts open. Scheduler, yeah. So the scheduler, when the name is updated, what do you do? Scheduler, update level name, you change the level name text to the new name, so that doesn't do anything. Record fetch to false, fetch instance new level. Okay, so is it the record tracker then? Is that one the one that gets updated? When you get new level, you update record indicator point text. And then, yeah, you don't touch. This thing doesn't touch the click counter. So something is calling the click counter. It is the issue with modular programming. You have to find stuff where the fuck you hooked stuff up. Rather modular, functional, I mean. Okay, so somewhere is calling. Okay, just. Just put a debug there and see when it happens. Because wherever that is, right, it's going to need to trigger that bit of code anytime a level is updated, regardless of whether it's a new one or the one that is already loaded. Right? So I'm trying to understand that. Right? So did you? Yeah, you did. Okay, where is it called? On click counter 30, called from click counter 21. Great. So that's just the click counter start, right? So that's it updates automatically there. Then where else? Right. Okay. So this is called from click counter 30 from sequence reference holder 27. Sequence reference holder 27. That is sequence reference holder. Can you open that script if I click you? No? Okay. Sequence reference holder. Yep, there it is. Okay. So sequence reference holder is this thing that has this next level sequence. Oh. So it is being called from here. Oh yeah, no wonder I couldn't find it. So this probably has a signal receiver then. Sequence, yep. So one for the record text. Yeah, this is the new record. One for the sound effect system. Which, yeah, one for the sequences. And the trigger that you receive here is trigger, which takes your sequence reference holder and sends what? Sequence reference holder, and you tell it to trigger load. And so this trigger load sets color to white, sets new high score graphic point color to color. Click counter reset count, right? So it happens here. So then yeah, the issue is that this isn't part of the load level thing. So I'm wondering if I should, no, because this is only relevant for when you're loading a new level. So I can't just do all of this. I mean, I could, but it's not good to do. So instead what I'm going to do is just call this directly. So then I go to the level generator, and whenever you load a level, this is already handled. But whenever a level is instead loaded through this button, right? Then that's when, yeah, okay, so yeah, so it's on the reload button. It does the two thing. No, I'm getting mixed up. Yeah, so it does two things. It does the restart and it toggles post-it. So I have to do it on the restart, just to keep these on-click things a bit more free. Because I've already been bitten in the ass by putting too many things there. Turns out the Unity events, they're great, but they're not always the most stable thing. So they do weird things if you erase one of the things that they are referencing. They do not deal well with missing references, even though other parts of the inspector do. So it is weird that they break so hard when you erase something, but they do. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to have on the. It's not here. It's here. Yeah, when you restart, on top of instantiating the level, you should reset the count of the click counter. I'm realizing that this is definitely going to be a shorter stream because I'm running out of things that I need to do. Okay, so do a bunch of clicks, reload the level. Okay, so you're also not deleting everything here. So that is also simple. That is just go to the input panel. Yeah. So instantiate the level to reload. When it's the level generator that does it does just instantiate it. It doesn't do anything else. Right, because usually those are killed not on the reload of the level, but rather on the end of the level, right? So when you touch the flagpole, that's when they would get reset. So that means that we don't need to reset them when the next level loads. But that is obviously not the case here, so we're going to do that manually. So on top of that, you're going to call the script. Which one is it? The right one is the input panel, so this is the scheduler instance, and you're going to tell it to script scheduler. Also, get out of play mode. Scheduler, you're going to tell it to cancel all commands. So like this. Yeah, I think after this, all I really have left to do is just making levels. Everything gets reset properly. There's some weird thing there with a bunch of clouds appearing up there, but honestly, that doesn't seem like a big deal. I could just leave it like that. Oh, right. God damn it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're gonna be facing that way, so I need to click this twice. I forgot to check for the thing I wanted to check for. So it's this, when you reload those. That's passable, that's acceptable. I can deal with that. So yeah, the issue is that when you reset the commands, you're resetting them, you're spawning the new ones before deleting the old ones, and that's what makes it so that the cloud puffs appear above from where they look like they should. But honestly, I can live with that. I think I'm just gonna leave that like as it is. So, uh, I think I'm at the point right now where all I need to do is level design, and because my levels don't have, because I don't have a tool for because I don't have a tool for proper level design, right? Like I'm just, in order to make a level, really what I have to do is go into this prefab, right? Create a copy of it, then create more game objects for each row that it has, and then assign to each row each of the little terrain things that I wanted to have in that order, and then assign those here, and then assign colors here, right? So that is not difficult to do, but it does make it a bit difficult to see how your level is coming across as you make it, and then also change the commands here and the name, right? So that means that I would likely either want to create a tool for level creation, just one that's internal, right, and will generate me the prefab with all the things that I want, or do them in pen and paper and then do them manually here just by hand, all in a row. And that would be something that I would want to do off stream anyways, just so as to not kind of spoil what each level is going to look like. So that means that this is very likely the last stream, and that means that I'm of this development of this game, which by the way is called Topsi now. I mean, actually, yeah, the logo is right there. Why do I say that like you don't know? I like the name. It's Topsy like Topsy Turvy, but written with Spanish Spanish phonetical spelling, so that it's not too evident what I'm going for. Topsy Turvy because you spin things, right? So, and I've decided that's. Oh no, there is one thing I need to do. There is one more thing I need to do. Yeah. There is one more thing I do need to do, and that is the game over sequence. What happens when you finish the last level of the game? The last level of the game is going to be marked by being the only level that doesn't have its next level prefab here, right? So in this case, it's this. Usually that causes an error because it's trying to load a level, but we're gonna give it a different script so that it has something to do. So if next level doesn't equal no, then you do the usual. Otherwise, I want you to do something. And what I want you to do is trigger a sequence. So we're going to need to be using Unity Engine point playables, I think that it was. Playables. It's I know that I reference it, I import it from one of the buttons in the pause menu. No, in the main menu. The play button has one click. No, but that references it directly, so that's not what I want. Yeah. What happens when you touch a flag? So it should be the player movement. Player movement, try movement. Yeah, so it's when you try to move into a end, you do the next level sequence play. Okay, yeah, so that's definitely... Oh, hold on. Yeah, so that means that you must be aware of this. So yeah, it was playable. So on playables, and then we are going to need a reference to public playable director end sequence. Oh, hold on, no, though. I can't do that. I can't do that because this isn't spawned yet, so I can't give it a reference from a thing that is already in the field. That's just not gonna work. So yeah, I definitely want to have something here that is going to have that. I should probably just make it a singleton as well. Yeah, let's just do that. Fuck it, I already have too many singletons, and I already have tons of singletons. It's whatever. So game and sequence is going to have a playable director, and it's going to have a script that I can make a singleton, new script. Actually, don't I have a script that is already like a sequence player whose only job is to play a sequence? Sequence reference holder? Yeah, I wrote it on the assumption that it's specifically for the next level, but no, this is singleton, so that doesn't work. Actually, in that case, I can just pass it here, right? It's a reference holder, that's all it does, so I might as well. Public playable director, game, and sequence. And that way I'm not adding a singleton, just hold a single reference. I am going to put it in a different game object though, just so that it's clear in the hierarchy. So yeah, and then I can give you to... Yep, to the... Yeah. Oh no, it's already on the sequences. Yeah, okay, that's good then. Okay, so yeah, so then all I need to do is go for the level reloader. No, it's the level loader? Level generator. Level generator here. So when it reaches the last level, so it doesn't have any level to load, so that means the next level is null, it's going to go to script, sequence reference holder instance to its game and sequence, and it's going to tell it play the sequence. And so the sequence is going to be so this sequence is going to be I should probably do it in question. Yeah, how would I do it? I want to do something really simple, right? So here's the idea I have. I want just a little Topsi that's going to move from right to left and find a group of its family, just like other little drawings, and then they're just going to jump and it's going to have some text that says congratulations, right? So in order to do that, I would have to, like, what's the best way to do it? Yeah, I probably want... Yeah, first thing I should do should be signal to a couple of things to stop reacting. So the mouse thing should be signaled to, which actually, let's just have it be easier. Just gonna have timeline here, game and timeline. So let's just do it really easy. We're going to take, we're gonna have an activation track and another activation track. These are both going to be for the gameplay panels. Actually, just the gameplay panels as a whole. Yeah, just take the gameplay panel, just disable it completely. Just delete it. It doesn't exist, right? So the end of level sequence happens, and then this panel gets disabled. And then I also want to disable this other panel. Actually, let's just see what happens, right? Just to start with. Right, so the issue is that yeah, so let's have you not play on awake, and then let's give you something, just let's create a marker. Just an empty marker that doesn't do anything here. So that, yeah. And so okay, so the first thing, so yeah, we should unload every level, every other bit of the level. So, oh, I have an idea. Actually, seeing these panels disappear, which wasn't my intention, right? I was fully intending to enable some other panels just to cover these up, right? Just to have the borders of the screen always be black. But actually, I have an idea that I like. I want it so that these panels disappear, and behind them there are a bunch of little guys like Topsy, and they all just kind of appear, and they kind of, you know, rush towards you, and they jump for joy or whatever, right? So, but the first thing that I need to do is I have to disappear every part of the level except for the player character, right? I want to do that. So then let's give the level generator a new thing. And so this is going to be a, yeah, this is going to be a function that is only triggered from here, that is going to disappear every element from the level that isn't the player. That is going to leave a player, but that player is not going to be reacting to anything because the scheduling panels are just not there anymore. So we don't have to worry about that. So, so then what I want you to do is, yeah, let's just public void disappear all but player. Right? And so I want you to trigger this function. It shouldn't be public, actually. So here, disappear all but the player. And so what I want you to do is go through the array of the level. So this. Go through the array of the level, and as you do, I want you to, do I have a function already for delete a singular object? No, okay, well that's fine. Let's replace those objects, all of those objects, with null. Does that create a puff cloud? Yes, it does. Okay, good. So then replace that object, the object in vector to int, in new vector to int j comma I. J is the, yeah, j is the x. With just null. We don't care, just null, right? But only if that object is in player. So if the thing in row I slot j has a tag that doesn't equal player, then do the replacement. Right? And so that should make it so that everything disappears in a puff of smoke. And that is if the throw code doesn't throw an error. Put this here. There is no given arguments that correspond to the formal parameter called. Okay, just fucking give it color point white. Actually, no, make it black. Is it black with uppercase? It probably shouldn't be. Actually, I can do something simpler. I can give it the no, just make it black. Yeah, okay. Then yeah, okay. So that'll replace everything with like an empty spot. Then it's going to play this sequence. As the sequence plays, I want these sidebars to disappear. So let's do that. Let's create a new animation track, and we're going to give that animation to weirdly this, just so that I can have both of them on the same animator. So then you're going to go into here, into the input panel, and you're going to... Ooh, but hold on, that means that I also need to do that to every single other thing in the panel. So, whatever, we can do that. And take the input panel and take its image component here, and just, there's a key right there. Go into the divider, there's a key right there. Go into the mouse sprite, there's a key right there. Going to the left space, the right space. Actually, the ones inside don't really matter because they're already going to be transparent. Then take the schedule panel. There's a key right there. Take this image. There's a key right there. And then there's this panel that doesn't do anything. There's this key right there. Take the level name. There's this vertex color, that's also a key. Takes this moves, color right there, best, color right there. This is way too many values to be driven by an animation. I probably should find a general way to do it, to do the fade out that I want. And then here, right before they disappear, make sure that they are all transparent. The panel doesn't have any image, but you do. And you do. Right, what you're seeing right now is something that's under, so that is not going to be visible at the time of this happening. The right space are there, those are just spaces. You disappear. You disappear. And you also disappear. Right? And so that creates this effect where everything just sort of fades out. I should have the music for Possible and Fuga to be available on YouTube, just there. Okay, for some reason some of those colors didn't actually transparentize themselves. This one in particular, this thing. I guess I forgot to add that to the animation. So yeah, you should be transparentized at this point. but should be opaque at this point. Okay, man. What am I looking for? Is the one that's just named image? As if that's not just sloppy. Okay, sometimes the Unity timeline just kind of seems to crap out. It's weird that the timeline is so much worse than the animator, considering that they should be the same thing. Ooh, I'm going to kill you. Schedule panel color. Schedule panel / image color. Yes, this. Like the alpha. You go down like so. Why aren't you going down? Okay, do you think this is one of those that's gonna fix itself if I reset Unity? It shouldn't be, but that's happened to me before. Okay. Frustrating. Game end. Record. Schedule panel. Gameplay panels. Yeah, gameplay panels. Schedule panel. Image. Remove key. Remove all keys, actually. Remove all keys. Remove all keys. Remove all keys. Okay, I'm gonna assume that's fine. Update key. Remove all keys. Why are you removing all the keys? Okay, go here, remove these keys, then remove these keys. Okay, brilliant. Okay, now take you, add key. Take you to here. Take you to all the way down here. Update key. Okay, you piece of shit. Like this. Please update my values. Please. Like, come on, man. Just, I can see the curve right here. It is updating. Let me delete it then. Remove curve. Yes. Command. Take me to the beginning. Take image. Command. That button here to manually add a key. Oh, you can just do this? Okay. Fucking that makes things easier. Uh yeah, just as I was saying that it's weird that it doesn't work like the animation window when they could literally use the same. Here it is, an option that I never saw that does exactly that. Fucking hell, thank. Oh, what? Duplicate game object name. Oh, that's why you don't know. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Why couldn't the timeline tell me that? Yeah, there you go. God, that makes it. Yeah, that makes sense. So then I can have it do that. It just didn't know which one to change because it had the same name as another thing, but the timeline is too stupid to actually tell me that that's what's going on. And then what are you? You don't exist actually. Because it's this, but this is. Yep, so you. You're full. And you. You're empty. And Bob's your uncle. That's such a weird thing to say. Why is that a thing that caught on? There you go. Okay. The despair times are over. Okay, so stop the recording. Don't show me all that. Right, so all of those fade out, right? And then the thing that appears from behind, or rather that is revealed to seemingly have always be behind, is going to be lots of these guys. So you're gonna have on the actually let's just put them here, right? So we're gonna have a bunch of little guys. Okay, so let's code one. Let's make one. So first of all, we're gonna need a new 2D object that is a sprite. It's going to be, let's make it this square. So we are going to take friend and we're going to put it here. And so friend is going to have a script that is for random hopping. Script random hopping. And so random hopping, what it does is it's going to It's going to take, yeah, we're gonna give it a world. We're gonna give it, yeah, we're also going to give it a world positioner, right? And so, what the random hopping is going to do no, actually, we are not going to do that. We're gonna do this with animations. And so this is going to be like extremely simple as far as animation goes, but you know. Rename. So the root goes inside the friend. And the root should be in position 0, 0 relative to the friend. So we have this. So then we're going to create an animator. Component. We're going to create an animator. And what this animator does is have. Why are you showing me some controller that I'm not using? No, I don't want this animator. I want to use a different one. I'm going to do. Where are my animators? Here, animation. We're going to have create controller, control, animation, animator controller. Yes, and this is going to be the hopper. And so this animator is going to be given by this controller, and the hopper is going to, what it's going to do is it's going to just play a one-track animation, right? So hopper, animation, root. Yeah, we're going to create an animation clip. And this is extremely simple. It's just going to be a little hop. Hop. And so this hop is going to be triggered only when you send a trigger called hop. And when this happens, then this happens, and no exit time, so it's just going to happen immediately and then go back. Then hop, importantly, shut up. Hop, importantly, does not have a loop time. So once in the hop state, it's going to hop once and then just not again until it receives the trigger again. So then, now we actually have to do the animation, and the animation couldn't be simpler. It's just take your position. Yeah, I fucked up. The animator shouldn't be here. The animator should be here. That way, the positions can be relative to the base game object rather than global to the world. So you have this. And your controller should still be just the hopper, and then you're going to do this hop animation. This hop animation should be like this. You start here. Start in 0, 0. No, wrong thing. You start, die. So you start in 0, 0. You start here. You're going to up to here. And then go back to 0. Too fast. Too slow, too slow. Go on like this. And then we want it to look actually like a jump with gravity. So we have to adjust the curves a little bit. So really the only one that matters is the Y. And it should look like a parabola because that's what gravity looks like. So we're going to take both of these, make them weighted. Make them both engines weighted. And should be like this. And a bit shorter on this end. This one should be like this. Should be like this. And then we're gonna give it a little bit of a bounce. So we're gonna copy this here. We're gonna do it like broken, and we're gonna have a smaller hop right here. Actually, it should be like way smaller so that it looks like a little bounce. So like this, kind of. So yeah, yes. Yeah, like this. So the idea is we're going to trigger this animation at random times by just sending this trigger, right? So the way that we do that is by having a script that is script random anim send, and then I mean trigger send. I should definitely have a base class that is for setting timers. I'm gonna do that for the next thing that I make on here, but that's a thing that I've always thought will be super useful. Just have things inherited from it, or rather, yeah, have things inherit those instructions from it, and then I can just feed it a random name and the time, and it'll just call a function that I want when the timer runs out, and just not have to bother with putting all of that in the update. So we have this, and so we want a couple of variables. So here, first we want a couple of float numbers, so public float, we want the minimum time in between hops, and then we have public float, we want the maximum time in between hops, and then we want the name of the thing that we're going to send, the name of the trigger that we're going to send. So trigger name, string, trigger name, and then we also want the public animator component, anim component. So with all of those things given, what you're going to do is we're going to need a timer. So public timer equals -1. So if timer is smaller or equal than 0, then you are going to send the hop, so animator component set trigger name. You're going to send the trigger to hop, and then you're going to set the timer to a random value on the range between minimum time and maximum time. And then every frame you're gonna reduce the timer by delta time. And so that means that this instruction is going to be called at random times between minimum time and max time, always in a cycle, right? And so we're gonna have this friend, and we're gonna give it all those variables. 12. Yeah, it needs to be type float. So that means that it should be -1f. Time is a type, but it is used like a variable. What? 14. Oh, no, it's timer. There you go. Okay, so actually timer should not be public. The trigger name should be hop, so that it matches this. The maximum time in between hops should be 5 seconds, and the minimum time, let's say that it is 0.5. And then we make this into a prefab. Here. The animator control you have used is not valid, animations will not play. What are you talking about? Why would it not be? Oh no, I can't make it into a prefab yet because there are other things that I need to do. I'm back completely. Well, actually, I could just modify the prefab, but whatever. And then this is going to have yeah, it is going to have and then this is going to have a script randomizer, a script random sprite, and we're going to do the same thing as usual of just giving this the 4 sprites for the squiggle. It's going to be like this. Random prefab. Yep. Where are they? They're on resources and they are not the audio, so they are this, not the ones. Is it the ones? It's not these. 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 To column layout. Yep, it's these. So I want to have you be one of these. 3.8. 3.8. To be about the size that I usually do. And then we are going to give you 4 of these, and they're going to be this, 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 and this. And then this is friend. Yep. And so we're going to create other scripts that are going to be script random spacing and color. No, actually, forget random facing. No, I want them to be facing towards you so that it looks like it's like they're just looking at you, like they've been waiting for you. So actually, this, yeah, we're gonna do this. Forget about the random facing. We're gonna just do it random color, and we're going to do yeah, public. So we're gonna change it to have that name. And then I didn't realize that those scripts would not be in my script folder when I created them that way, so just gonna put it here. Layout, we're gonna have it random. I'll rename random color. So then this script doesn't exist, and then this one does. So I'm going to have a lower bound. So public sprite render, so it's going to know what to change SR, and public load lower bound, that is going to be how low can the color values go, because I want them to still be sort of white, right? So that you can't have one that is too dark, it's going to look weird. So it should be like a pretty up there kind of lower bound. And then we're going to do public, no, we're going to do start, on start, void. On start, what you're going to do is sprite render point color equals color to assign, and then color type color to assign is going to equal new color that is going to be the 3 values are going to be random point range between the lower bound and 1, and that's going to be for green and blue as well, green blue, and then alpha is going to be just 1, just there's no transparency here. And then once you're done with that, you're going to destroy the script because we don't need it anymore. This. And yeah, sprite rendered renderer. And yeah, and so this guy is now going to have a random color and just be hopping around in a random pattern. At least that's the idea. And the lower bound is going to be 0.85, right? So 0.85 on all accounts, what does that look like? 0.85. Oh, no, do it like this. 0.85. 0.85. 0.85, right? So this is about as dark as each one is going to get, right? And so they're going to be like, you know, maybe a bit bluish, maybe a bit cyanish. Okay, maybe 0.5 is a bit much. But 0.5 on all. So 0.5 here, 0.5, 0.5 here, and then 0.5 here. So you have like this range of colors. So like very pastel-ish. I can work with that. So yeah, it's going to be just white as a default, but then it's going to switch to one of these between 0. Let's say 6, and then that object is going to disappear. The animation component is this one, and then we're going to have yeah, that. So yeah, random sprite has not been assigned, so the variable image of script random sprite. So you're going to have the image component is this. Yep. So what does this look in the scene? Okay, so we have these guys, right? And so I can make a prefab out of this, right? Here, we're gonna put him here. So the idea is we are going to have several of these. So we're going to have like, right? The idea is that they're going to be standing there as if they've been watching you, right? Do the whole game. Then we're gonna have these be facing the other way, so it's going to be scale -1. They're gonna be like this. It's probably not exactly efficient to have these things be running code and timers throughout the whole time when they're only going to be visible right at the very end. But I don't think 32 timers are going to be a particularly difficult thing for this game in particular to run. Yeah, so we gotta move them a bit to the right because those two are visible, so let's do this. And let's remove some of them just to make it appear a bit less dense. Right, so you can see them, right? But then when the game ends, you're gonna see all these, and they're just kinda happy for you, right? just sort of hopping around, like, yay, you did it, good job, right? And so, as the ending sequence, so I'm gonna put these all inside of a game object just to keep things more organized, right? Let's just create a new empty, put it here. It's going to be all your friends. By the way, I know that it's not spelled like that. Like, I know I have an accent and everything, but I know that much, right? Just to be clear, that's not a mistake. And then you're going to have this. So these guys are going to be here, and then the... Actually, I can make them appear. Yeah, I'm gonna make them appear. Sure, why not? So on the end of game sequence, you are going to, yes, so this is going to start disabled, and on the end of game sequence, we're going to have another activation track, and this is going to be for the friends. So when this sequence starts, these friends are going to be activated. So the side panels disappear. Yeah, gameplay panels here. So on this end level sequence, the side panels slowly disappear. Then you see the friends, and then as you're here, there's going to be some text, right? Some text that says congratulations. That would be the thing. Yep, some text here fades in. It just says, you did it. Right? Just, you made it. Congratulations, whatever. I tell you what, I'm gonna take a break right now just so I can go get some water. So we're going to be right back. Yep.
My facial recognition seems to have trouble telling whether my right eye is open or closed when I look this way. Wonder why that is. Uh, let's see. All right. Okay. So we have this, and then we're going to want to have some text that says congratulations on the bottom, right? So that is going to appear. Well, we need the text first of all. So we're going to make it with the same method that we've been making the other stuff. So just having it be like this. So where's the Topsi? Because that's about the size that I want it to be.
Prefab resources. Settings. Yeah, here it is. So yeah, it's the logo. I want to show it in the Explorer. And I want to take this and open it with paint.net. And then just so that I don't accidentally overwrite it, we're going to have it with, we're going to save as. We're going to save it on, we're going to save it on this folder with this name, congrats. Yep. And because the rest of the game has been written in Spanish, that's how we're going to write it. It's going to be like, I'm not going to care too much about this. Right? And then I'm going to take this brush and take it, make it a bit thicker like this. That may be a bit too thick. So maybe more like 12. Yep. Okay, so I need a nice short word or you did it that I can use in Spanish. So in Spanish, like lo hiciste, right? Or felicidades, but felicidades is way too fucking long. So what's like a thesaurus word for congratulations? Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, let's do that. This is a good one because it means that when I decide to translate this game, which I most definitely will, hope I do anyways, which I'm definitely hoping to, at least this is going to be one asset that I don't need to change. My kerning is fucking awful. Hold on. I need to make the font a bit less thick. There you go. Bravo. That is nice and not language specific. And then we're going to paste that here, here, and here so that we can trace over the letters. Doesn't matter if they're not in the same position. I just need the letters to not be a wildly different shape. Which you'd think just writing the same letter already makes that impossible, but it turns out that not really. You can write two things that are recognizably the same letter and still be way fucking different. Like in terms of their overall shape. To the point where this effect of just using these as animation frames would just not work. Bravo. And then get rid of this layer. And there we go. File, save, yep, just save it. Then close this. Also close Audacity, which I left open for some reason. No, do not close that. Why do programs keep doing that? It's maxed out. Why would I be able to click on Unity? Why? Like, does my mouse go out of the screen? Is there a pixel of space in between them that I can click? Windows didn't used to do this. No, don't save it. Jesus. Okay. What am I saying? What am I doing? I'm doing... Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm importing that graphic. So I want to import it from here, which is my folder over here in the resources. It's this one. Right here. And this one is going to be... Yep, and so I need it to be multiple sprites with no filter. Going to the sprite editor, and I want you to do them automatically. Slice, there you go. Apply, have that sprite. Now I'm going to put this right in between where my friends are. So I'm going to place this logo right here. It's going to be size 3.8 on both sides. So we have this, and this is going to have random sprite, yes. No, it's not this one, it's this one. It's this. This is your sprite renderer. You have 4 sprites. They are such, 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 and such. And this is going to be like this. But it's going to start fully transparent. No, it is not. It is going to start like 0. Right? You're inside of here. So I take here. And then this timeline, this end of game timeline, yep, right here. It is going to, when the things disappear, it's going to reveal all the guys, and it's going to create an animation track for the image, for the congrats text. Amen. Yep, we're gonna give it an animator, and then it's going to go from, yep, and then it's going to go from being size 0 as key to being size 3.8. Being size 3.8 and 3.8. And actually, let's... How fast is that? Maybe a bit too slow. Let's make it... Let's remove that key. Remove that key and add it here. It'll be 3.8, 3.8, 3.8. It's going to be like this. And then here it is going to send a signal to the sound effect system so that it plays a chord. Chord, yeah, so that it plays a chord. Is you with the signal receiver. So on trigger, it's going to play a chord. Yep. Game end. Add a signal emitter. Trigger. And then also, it is going to send another signal that is going to make it so that the beat player is playing notes way faster, right? So usually what it does is it's going to have a bass beat, drums, bass beat. Yeah. So usually what's going to happen is I'm going to have the system playing like a little note automatically every time, every beats to next highlight, every bass beat interval, right? So I want to change this number to be way faster, right? So because this is public, that means that I can access it from here. So let's create a thing for you. So are you aware of actually the bass beat player? Because if not, it may be better to just give it its own sound effects manager. What do you do? Oh, you just give me the thing to play. Yep, I remember. Yeah, are you aware of this guy, of the beat player? No, you're not. Okay, let's make you aware of it then. Make a public variable of the script that is the beat beeper, and then with script, and then I want to have a function that on being triggered accelerate the play. You're going to access the beat script, and you're going to access its highlight bass beat interval hits bass beat interval, and you're going to make it equal to 0, just 0 every time. A method must have a return type. Yep, it's public void. Okay, so we have this SFX player. Oh. Yep, I have this SFX player. I want to give it a reaction. When you are giving the activate, you're going to go to this note picker, and you're going to accelerate, do that accelerate function that I just gave you. Which, I mean, should be named consistently with everything else too. Right, so that is going to happen, and that means that you are going to go into this beat script and just change the variable, and that's going to make it so that a note plays every time. So the music will become more active when you complete it. So like right here, I'm going to create here a signal emitter, and this is going to say activate. And then from here on out, you're just gonna be in this state. So that's the idea, right? And then you're gonna have to press Alt F4 to quit because, yep. That is purely so that I don't have to return variables to normal. I mean, remember, this is due Monday, right? So I'm not gonna make it very nice in that regard. Oh, I did forget. The camera is not always in the same position. So all of these friends... Yeah, so everything here should be... So this is all scale 1, and this is scale 3.8. That makes sense. So then I want to put all of these... When you move, do you move the camera, or do you just... You don't change its scale, do you? So... Well, I can make them move along with the camera, right? Just by putting this here. But the issue is that when the camera zooms out, that might make them visible. Well, actually, that doesn't matter if they're not on, but when they do turn on, they do need to be in the right place. So, like... Okay, so one thing, this thing did not work, and I think I know why. I think this should not be 0, this should be 1. I think the script doesn't know what to do when it's 0. But actually, I think I'm fine with the guys just appearing right there. Just like being sort of bigger and appearing there. I think that's I think that works. It's not what I wanted, but I think that works too. Yeah, and just as one last thing that we need to fix, this concrete text should appear on top of everything, so let's give it an ordered layer that is frankly ridiculous. It's never going to be behind anything. that means that I have done everything that I meant to do for the game. The game is pretty much in a functional state in every single way, except that it doesn't have any levels. And that'll be what I'll devote the entirety of tomorrow too. But I will not be doing that on stream for the purposes of both, one, that is pretty boring, and two, just to not spoil it in case anybody is watching and wants to play it, right? Or just whatever. Just the levels are intended so that you discover them as you play, and so I think that having them visible beforehand is a bit of a disservice to the game itself, and also I don't think it makes for particularly good particularly good content when most of it I'm going to be doing in sheet paper anyway, right? So that means that this is going to be the last stream of the development of Topsi. This is, for all intents and purposes, Topsi is already completed, and you're going to see it pop out in itch later. It also means that if you're watching this on YouTube, this is the last part. So that is nice. This is due Monday. Today is Saturday for reference. So one day to do level design is plenty enough time, I think. I'm pretty happy with how everything seems to have come along, particularly this end screen. It turned out to be way cuter than I thought it would be, despite the simplicity. Oh, hold on. There is one thing, actually. I'm giving the whole end spiel, and I forgot to write the credits. That's going to be just super simple. That's literally just writing my name, and that's actually a very good thing to cap this on, right? So we're going to create, we're going to put it in, what's a canvas that's visible? Well, we're going to create a new canvas here. Why not? We're going to create a new UI canvas, and the reason it has to be a canvas, actually, can I create a in-world text mesh pro? Text mesh pro legacy text empty 3D effects light audio video UI toolkit. Now let's just do a text mesh pro, a normal text mesh pro right here. We're gonna have this here, and this is going to be edits, and so I'm going to put it somewhere. So this is going to be in my font asset that I made, this one, just that it matches everything else. We're going to make it bigger, right? Which means that we need to make this. Actually, it doesn't really make a difference whether I change the scale or the font size. We're gonna have it be like this. Oh, or maybe it actually does, because that is not what the other stuff looks like. No, it doesn't. It doesn't make a difference because it's all rasterized anyway, so pixels are all going to be in the same place. So this is going to be some text that appears up here. It's going to say game by... No, everything else is in Spanish, so this has to be Juego de Store. That's me. Actually, no. Let's do it the same way that I've done the other stuff. Let's just write SOAR here. And this is going to be in the lower right corner of the screen. Right? And so on the other side, we're going to have it say... I need to credit some other stuff. So... audio samples. Baba is you, and also well, that's the only one I used, I think. Did I use anything else by somebody else? No, I used some theremin audio. Yeah, the problem is that I'm not going to be able to find it now. Oh shit. How do I find it back so that I can credit the guy? I mean, to be fair, it's not particularly important. It's not like that. It's not like theremin audio is particularly recognizable just because it's a it's a fucking sine wave, right? but it's a particular recording of a sine wave. That's the issue, right? So which is the one that I used? There's something like sound effects on theremin, I think. Sound effects of a theremin. 10 sound effects on the theremin, yeah. Base U, OST, and then beat the bush. Beat the bush and sound effects on the theremin. And then we have to make this font way smaller now. Like this. It needs to still be readable, which, to be fair, it should be at this size. Yeah, it's entirely readable. But we're gonna put this advise you OST and beat the bush head sound effects on theremin. I'm gonna format this like this. Samples value usadas. Is it usadas or usadas? It's difficult to know when it's a word that is in English. Like, is samples feminine or masculine? It feels feminine. It's weird. I think this works. And then we're going to put this here. Yep, this. And textile H1. Does that even make a difference? Both. Just leave it normal, right? Hit the bush, and then we're gonna do this. It's gonna be in black because every other color has been pretty bright. Put this here, and make sure that this is a bit like this, and yeah. Is there anything else I need to credit? I made the music myself. I made the scripts myself. I made all the coding, I think. I could do special things, I guess. But honestly, no. That's the kind of stuff that I would want to put on the itch.io page, not on the game itself, really. But this is just the stuff that I've actually used, rather than things that I'm just grateful to. So yeah, just these two are the only things that I need to credit, and then Soar is just me. I'm gonna put it there in the corner. Yeah, and then I need to make this appear. So we go here, we go to the console. Yeah, we go to the oh, I forgot to take away this debug line. Let's do that. Away with you. And then you, I make not real, and then the end sequence is going to be game end. Go to the timeline. We're going to take all of this marker I don't need anymore, and then here we're going to create another activation track, and this one is for that text. This one's going to be a bit longer, you know. And here we're going to create another animation track. This is for that text as well. No, not for that text, for this text. This is going to have this. So here you're going to have this vertex color set to transparent, which I should do from... Actually, no, let's have it set to transparent from the beginning. Right, and then on the end of the game sequence here, I'm going to start recording, take this text, set this as the thing over here and make it untransparent. Actually, let's keep it transparent until here. Let's make that so that the fading is rather quick, or everything in between, so that it takes a while. So there you see the congratulations text up here, and then the text up here. And then the game's over, right? So you just quit Alt F4. It doesn't matter, your record's been saved, don't worry, right? Yep, I need to keep this up until then, until the very, very end. They need to end together. So you here and you here. That is so that they both stay on screen, right? All right, so here we are. Now for this time for real. Okay, so that is the end of the stream, but also the end of this series because there's nothing more to be done on the game. Hope that if you're watching this, you've enjoyed seeing me work on it. I mostly do this just to keep myself accountable. I find that it's easier to work when I'm talking to nobody or one person on stream, because then that keeps me from from goofing off, right? It's a lot more difficult to turn on a YouTube video, a Pan and Coac YouTube video, and then be pulled away for 3 hours when you know that somebody could show up and be like, well, what's this stream about, right? So, or when you know that you're going to download the VOD and then upload it to YouTube, and so there's gonna be like 3 hours of dead air in the middle. It's a lot more difficult to get distracted. So usually I can get 4 hours. I can get done stuff that on my own would take me 8 hours. I'm thankful to the idea of streaming precisely for that, and also to anybody who might be watching, because obviously this whole thing works on the possibility that somebody may watch, and for that there needs to be somebody who does watch, sometimes at least. So yeah, I've had fun and I'm pretty proud of what I'm going to produce. I hope that you are looking forward to seeing this appear on my itch.io page. Whenever I stream again, I'm definitely going to mention it too, just in case. I think the game is going to be quite good. I think this is one of the ones that I'm the most proud of it's gonna be among all the ones that are on my page. It's gonna be this, Bossable, and Prime Cut, like I said before. So I'm pretty excited, and I'm also pretty excited for how this is going to go at the fair on Monday. But for now, that is enough progress. I would say that's enough progress, being pretty much done with the game. So yeah, that means it's gonna be the end of the stream. Thanks for watching, yeah?